Hey shop rats, welcome back. Today here in the shop we're back on the Stitches Challenger, finishing up where we left off in the last episode. We had fabricated a small little piece of the corner of the floor pan that we were missing to attach to the other piece that we have fabricated and repurposed from another vehicle. Today we're going to get that rusty floor cut out and start fitting that piece of floor in. Well, remember that anything we do here isn't just about a 70 Challenger or any of the other cars that we have. It's about doing things that you can directly take and apply to the vehicle you're working on. So whether you have a 1972 Peugeot or a 1980 Dodge Omni or anything in between, it's all the same basic principles. Now, we could keep talking about it or we could just get down and do it. Let's watch the show intro. You'll get a little overview of some of the stuff that we do here in the shop, and then we'll get right after the project. I'm Mike, and this is My Car's Shop.
Working out of a 100-year-old refurbished barn, bringing 35 years of experience to projects considered beyond repair. Vision, creativity, and problem solving are essential tools in this place. Watch as we transform junk into polished metal miracles. This is My Car's Shop.
If you remember, in our last episode, we made that piece of floor pan right there to go in that one corner where we're missing that piece, or it's not missing, it's just rusted out, and the replacement panel that we have right here was missing that chunk because it was bad, so that's fine. We have done a lot on this car, and we have put in handmade frame rails, subframe connectors. We put a piece of floor pan in on that side. We've rebuilt the driver's side wheel tub. All kinds of stuff that we've done here. Oh yeah, we made a trunk extension also. So we're in the process of just stitching this car that we call Stitches back together. So today we're going to be working on right there and getting all of that cut out and fixed. Remember that it's easy to fix a car like this. All you have to do is cut out all the stuff that doesn't look like a car and replace it with stuff that looks like a car. The thing is, every new day that I come out here, the thing for me is always trying to figure out where's the place to start next. So I think it makes the most sense to start by cutting out the piece over here first and making room for this to fit. And then once we've got that cut out, we can go ahead and start cutting all of this out and figuring out what makes the most sense for where to blend that new piece into the old piece. I haven't really looked at this that closely since we made it, but I think it's going to be pretty straightforward what we do. Be very similar to that side. I think we'll probably cut this down a little bit here, and we'll do a 1/2 inch overlap most of the way around, and we'll just do stuff. So let me just get my cutoff wheel. I was going to go through, I'm trying to remember to do this and tell you what tools we're going to use today, just so you have an idea to plan ahead for your own project. We're going to use a cutoff wheel, probably a grinder. I'll probably use my pneumatic 4-inch grinder, and we'll be definitely using the air chisel. There may be a couple of other tools, but those are the ones that I foresee right up front. So I just want to start helping you think through, if you don't have tools, what the common tools are that I use for stuff like this, so that you can go to Hobo Freight and pick some of those up. Alright, so we got all that out of there. I got a little carried away with my grinder over here, so I've got to fix that. I cut into the rocker a little bit, but no big deal. We'll weld that up before we put this piece on there. But let's grab that piece real quick and see how she's fitting. Yeah, she's starting to look good there. I'd be liking it. Of course, we got to trim it back here. We've got to make a decision on if we're going to go under or over here. I think, like I did on the other side, I think I just welded it onto the flange piece here, and that'll be fine. Over here, I went underneath, but over here I didn't, and I think I'll do the same thing. So you can obviously see where we're going to need to cut that to make that work. No biggie. So yeah, it'll slug right up in there like that, nice. And then of course our floor pan piece will fit. Yeah, sorry, I'm shaking you everywhere here. The floor pan piece will fit in there nicely, and we can marry these together and get everything looking pretty good. I need a full-time camera person. Make this a lot easier trying to do all this myself, but it is what it is, and it will be what it is, so therefore it was. Okay, screw-ups are all fixed, and I share everything because I got carried away and cut through that rocker panel and a couple of brackets some, so that's all welded up. I've got it cleaned up with the grinder. Now we'll go ahead and with rust conditioner and high heat paint, and then let that dry, and we can start fitting our newfangled piece down in place. So we got it there, screwed up in one spot. Hang my light up here. Yeah, I drilled a hole right there where there wasn't anything, so I've got to fill that, but looks good. We got our plug weld holes around it and so forth, so I think we'll go ahead and get this piece put in, and then we can work on fitting that over to it. At least I think that's what we'll do. Alright, having looked at it more, I think it actually makes sense to get this fit first and then determine where I'm going to seam these two. So I think because of this, I may need to put that other piece in first. So it's always a giant logic puzzle, just figuring stuff out as you go. No biggie. Did a little fitting and trimming down here. Things are looking pretty good up here now. I think I need to lay this out now as far as how I'm going to put it in. So I think the first thing I'll do is make a shadow outline of the whole thing all the way around, and then that'll give me a ballpark idea of where I want to do my fit and trim. And then our other piece, of course, that we made will fit right over here. So whether it goes under or over on top, I'm not sure. It's probably going to go under this, but I got to get this cut and fit first to see how everything is going to go. So let's do a shadow outline and we'll go from there. There. Now we've got a good outline of where that new panel fits, and we can make a determination on how we're going to cut it, because I'm not completely sure yet. But you get the idea. You can see where etc. decided to go ahead and cut out a bunch because this was still pretty good here. So I got to take and do a shadow outline on that, make sure everything is good, and then we can cut out all of that bad metal there. So moving along nicely. Hard to show everything that I'm doing, but you saw me do it on the other side, so just trying to show different things here. All right, now we can come across here, down around here like this, and then up to that line, and that should give us a good welding flange, and so we can put plug welds in there and go from there. So I think we're in pretty decent shape now. A little more cutting to do, and we'll be there. I think we're ready to go around and drill plug weld holes in this. I decided I am going to go ahead down here and put it on top because it's got such big holes ripped in it. Those make natural plug weld holes anyway, so that'll work well. I'm going to go ahead and leave this double layered. You'll see in a minute. I'll hammer and dolly this flat though, so it fits a little bit better. This tunnel is down just a little bit, needs to be raised up to get to the top of the frame rail, but that's fine. It moves around. My large butt sitting in here right now isn't helping anything, but it's fitting and good. We'll have a bunch of dolly work to get it to twist in there and so forth, but I think overall we're in good shape. So just want to make sure that my fitment down here is good. I've checked my piece over here. It's going to fit all right in here. So I'm happy with that. It'll go over tight up to that like that. A little bit of work to do up there, but overall it's going to look good. I'll peen that down in once I get it all attached. We may do a little bit of massaging, but I think it's going to look fine. And the main thing is it's going to be strong. That's what we're shooting for here. So if it didn't, if it was just to keep the mud out, I wouldn't be as concerned. But obviously it's part of the structural integrity of the car. So we've got to be kind of thoughtful about what we're doing here. But we're getting there. Got all my pilot holes drilled with a smaller drill bit, now we'll go around with a big one. Everything's looking good. There just comes a time when you got to say enough, do it, and pull the trigger and just start putting it in. So we're at that point. So I'm gonna get suited up and crawl in here and get her done. She's tacked in, looking good, looking real good. Obviously, lots and lots and lots of welding to do, but I want to get this kind of up where it belongs because it's down and needs to come up some to level everything out there, and then we'll be in good shape. The frame rail's in the right spot. This is just down, but this thing moves around, so we'll get a jack under that, lift that up, get it welded into this, and then we'll have to go over here and start working on that piece to get that final fit, and yeah, making great progress. Got that nice and level across there now. Little job of work to do right there, but no big deal. So we need to get this next piece fit down in here and see how that's going to roll. So yeah, we're getting there. I'm happy. This has taken a little bit of finagling to figure out. If I bend this up, which is why I didn't weld this down, and then I take this piece and kind of slide it up underneath, like so, and then flip it around and kind of wiggle it back in, and then down, and so forth. She falls right down into place. And then this can be bent back over. So I'm happy with that. We'll get that welded in, and everything should be good to go. Should. We'll see. Had to give a little crystal blue persuasion right there. It wasn't quite fitting right. That angle was off just a little bit. So when that bent down in there, this ended up being just a little bit wide up there, but I'm not worried about that. We'll fill that in with a piece of metal. That's a minor inconvenience, and an extra piece in there will make it stronger anyway. So I think we're going to be good. Then this will bend back down over, and we'll have a little trick to do right there, but should work. So I'm committed. Let's weld. Fitting down in there nicely, and this is going to fit beautifully down in place where I want it. I got a little job of work up in there, but that's no big deal. I'll just make a piece to fit around in there, and yeah, no biggie. That was just a little miscalculation on my part, but that's part of fabricating, so it is what it is. Don't worry about it. If you're off a little bit, you can weld another piece in. But yeah, so this is going to fit down nicely now. It'll form down nicely. I'm going to do a little bit of a there just to kind of make that a little bit, not exactly because I don't care, but I'd like to pound that down in just a little bit, just give it a little more strength. Well, it's all done. We just got to finish it up. It's close. There's a few more welds to do and a couple of patches, same as the other side. But some of this stuff I can do from underneath when it's on the rotisserie. It'll be a lot easier. And some of it I need two people to do. So overall, it's looking good and no complaints. A few holes to fill here and there, but it has its second piece of floor pan installed. Please don't assume that I know what I'm doing. Well, let me say that I know what I'm doing. Don't assume that I'm doing everything right. I'm doing what I do. So I'll make that disclaimer. I've been doing it this way for a long time, and it works. But, you know, this is why we call it stitches. One thing I forgot to do was do the spot welds through to the frame rail, so we'll have to do that in there. No big deal. Well, I'm filthy. Cold because the blower motor on my furnace quit. The starter on the motor won't start the motor. It just goes over there and goes Nyeh. So that's done. I got to find one of those tomorrow, hopefully. My little electric heater's kind of been blowing in here where I'm working, but it's late enough in the day. I need to quit anyway and get on with other things today. So the floor pan is in. Like I said, it's done. We just got to finish it up. Some of this is work that's going to require 2 people because I need somebody to hold something on the backside, and well, there's just stuff to do. So it's good progress. Happy with that. So thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would encourage you to do that. We put out episodes at this point every Tuesday, every Friday, and every Sunday. I am rethinking that a little bit just because of the rest of my life seems to keep getting busier, and I don't get as much time to be out here. But so far, I'm able to keep plugging away at it and keep cranking the episodes out. Some of you have asked, why do I put out 3 episodes a week? Why don't you just do 1 episode a week? Well, I'm really motivated to get a lot of stuff done, and I want to film the entire process of doing that. If I was doing 1 episode a week, I would either be 6 months ahead on episodes, which, that's not a bad thing, or I would be having to skip huge steps in the process. Thinking maybe we might cut back to 2 a week. Not sure, but if I did, answer this question: what days would you prefer, Friday, Sunday, or Friday and Tuesday? Because those are the options. I'd either up Sunday or Tuesday if I did that. I'll keep everything on Friday, of course, because Friday is the best day of the week in my opinion. Excuse me. All right, we're on the instant thing, the face thing / my car shop, and